AMD has announced its acquisition of Nod Labs, which is an open source artificial intelligence software startup that specializes in reinforcement learning. This is a strategic move on the part of AMD and their AI growth strategy because they're competing with Nvidia, which has seen substantial revenue growth. Nod.AI's expertise in open source AI software and AI model optimizations is expected to enhance AMD's AI software's capabilities. The acquisition is set to close this quarter, furthering AMD's pursuit of a more robust presence in the AI market.
Yeah, this is a great move by AMD. Nod.AI, they were basically one of the companies that are out there figuring out how to make all this stuff work. And that's kind of the phase that we're in here with machine learning. It's not so much does it work, it's how do we make it work, how do we make it work predictably, how do we make it easy, how do we make it easy to deploy. And that's just what Nod Labs was doing. Essentially, they've created, well, the big thing I know them for is the Shark machine learning distribution, which is essentially a very easy way to deploy machine learning workloads, especially on AMD Radeon GPU hardware. Well, if that sounds like the kind of thing that AMD would be interested in, I think you'd be right. Essentially, they have been putting together a system that would, kind of just make it easier to use AMD hardware. This is an attempt to erode the benefit that our friends over at Nvidia have already with CUDA. Basically, they're so far ahead. They've got their proprietary interface that people love. A lot of people are writing to it, and everybody's aiming at CUDA and trying to figure out ways of chipping away at that tower that that supports AMD's entire market. They're trying to undermine that. That's what PyTorch is all about. That's what Shark is all about. So it makes a lot of sense for AMD to be here. Now, why exactly would they do this? Well, it's open source, so I could see an argument that you might say, why did they have to acquire it at all? I suspect that there's an element of acqui-hire here. Maybe they liked what the Shark distribution was doing, and they felt like that could be better within AMD. I also think that there's an element here to make sure that this remains focused and remains accessible on AMD hardware. And frankly, any software that supports AMD's hardware is going to be attractive to AMD. Another funny thing about this acquisition is that the company was located literally across the street from AMD in Santa Clara. So, maybe they looked across and, hey, what are those guys doing there? But I don't suspect that that's really it. I do think that this is going to have limited impact overall on AMD's share price or sales or anything in the near future. AMD is really focused on ramping up their MI300 product, getting that into the market. I think this is more of a long-term play to push AMD as a competitor to Nvidia than a short-term thing, but I think it's a good play.